Aloha, how are you? I had a good time today. I hope you did too. So we can see the piano here. So what we're doing on this recap is just a reiteration of what we had gone over today in practice and what we should be doing each week. When you're practicing on your own, these are things to warm up with and then to move into book work and or a piece you're working on and or just go through learning new music. So what we're going to do is reinforce what we've already learned, starting with the key and the chords we know. How about a C major, left hand and a right hand? We're going to start at C3 for our left so we can cover C, D, E, F, G over. We're going to be going back down and then under on that G. Remember, when we go over after 5 notes, we lead with our third finger. Then we complete. If we start with our pinky and end with our thumb, we've done a great job. Does that in every key. So when we're going through our process, what we need to do is remember is not to go under or over at the wrong period of time or we run out of fingers. So what we do is we think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over. And what happens is by doing this motion of just the 1 or 2 together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, it gets lost. However, if we do it in beats of 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, our fingers always kind of fall to the right place. It's a good way to have a syncopation and then to naturally get rid of that. So you can do straight through. And then those are pretty much legato. If we did straight notes, we'd be playing them staccato, which means we're actually just cutting off the note rather than letting it linger on so it bleeds through to the next note. Sometimes we want to do that when we're reading those dynamics in a piece of music, but just now for practicing, let's just have it just be the core note. So on the right hand, we have C, D, E, and then we go under with our thumb. Now, it's amazing how far this thumb could go, as you know. Woo! But we never really want to lose our focus on having our elbows well bent, our hands up like this, like there's an imaginary ball, and being able to articulate each note inside of our head with our fingers. So we do that with a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. 7, 6, 5, 4, over, 3, 2, and 1. If we go over with our third finger on each one of these, we will be in the right position to start and end on the right fingers. Generally the pinky, generally the thumb. So, the only one out of all the white keys, and when I say white keys, we're not starting here and doing with a black key, which would be a D flat, you know? We're actually going to be doing C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Just so happens that between a C and D is a whole step, D and E, whole step, E and F, half step, F and G, whole step, G and A, whole step, A and B, whole step, and B and C, half step. Just like E and F. So when we have these, every time we do this, no matter what key we start on, we could do a couple things. We can look at the notes. Let's pick a random note. Let's pick F, just because we want to talk about how this white key scale differs from all the other scales. We use our fourth finger. See how I went up to that fourth finger there? Went over, and then I'm going to skip over here. If I skip over with my fourth finger going up, I'm up a finger. And if I don't go to the fourth finger coming down, I miss a finger. So the logical thing to do is to play with these fingers going up and then skip under, use our pointer finger, and have all of our fingers left to play that F major scale, including the whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. I hope that made sense for a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. To have enough fingers. When we do it in C, do it in D, do it in E, F, and here's our change, G, does that feel normal or does that feel normal? Because when I have B here, I think, do it a number of ways, but what we talked about is when you have B and you're going to a C flat, I'm sorry, B, C sharp, D sharp, if you use the 3 and 4 rule, your thumb gets in the way here. So if you have going up, you could go to your thumb here, but then you'd have to cross over here, and it just doesn't make sense. So what we do is we fly through this, we use this fingering to go up. We could use a plethora of that with the right hand and the left hand. If we're doing with the right hand, we would have, let's do it in the same octave, so we hear 1, 2, 3, under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. It might feel awkward at first doing it that way, but you could actually start using different fingers for these once you get a little bit more comfortable with it. Not to waste too much time on B. So if we could work it up with all those, and you could do your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do in each key, what tends to happen is you can play the right hand triad with it. And you can play it on the 1 and 3. C major has no sharps and no flats, we can move it up. So what I'd like you to do is do that all the way through C major till you get all through your octaves. And it started in the middle range. Do what I just did from the C major. When you're comfortable with doing just a whole note over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. When you get done doing the slow one, try doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, doing your right hand on half notes, and then try quarters. Oh, sorry. And then try doing, these are eighth notes. What happens is your brain starts doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, until we turn these eighth notes into 16 notes. And the beauty of this is no matter how fast you think you are going, and you can't get it going like a, can't do it that fast, just slow it down too. And I guarantee, if you do that slow 10 times and speed it up just a little, it'll be easier. And then it will be easier going a little bit faster each time. And what this does is it creates this kind of space being able to play between. And major triad, major triad, minor triad, minor triad, minor triad, minor triad, major triad, major triad. Each one of these I'm playing, it's 1, 3, 5, depending on where it is in the scale position. And then I'm also playing with both sets of fingerings. My thumb, my middle, and my pinky, which is my 1, 3, 5, and then my 1 pointer and my ring finger, which is my 1, 2, 4, giving me the ability to do both of these. And we're going to be able to do them backwards. this allows us to do is doing the same thing. On the right hand, when we're doing 1, 2, 3, on the left hand, we can play a major triad. And what these scaled exercises do is when we do them slow, we can do them forwards and backwards. And then melodies arise out of them. So what I'm trying to influence is doing the scales. If we skip a note, it becomes some sort of altered scale or a melody. If we hit all the notes in C, it's a C major. But if we hit, like, let's say a slur, where we go from one note that's not in the natural diatonic scale, if I hit these two notes, which aren't in the scale, that really changes my C major. It's still in there, like a, but I have to back it up with some sort of altered chord to move the tone back to. I really enjoyed seeing you this week. I cannot wait to see you next week at our new location. Aloha.